Mame vana sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV die osia dem yopo.
Majority leader has gotten it very wrong. The reason is simply because on the point number 1, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu brought a notice of petition. That is a notice of intention to file a petition before Parliament on this matter. That notice of petition was served on Mr. Speaker. Now, Haruna Idrisu did not go ahead to file the substantive petition because the substantive petition will now detail the factual basis, of the petition and then the grievance or matter that he wants to draw Mr. Speaker's attention to. All right? So it was just a notice of petition. Now, when we convened in Parliament, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu consulted with our side of the House, the leadership of the House, and the Honorable Dr. Akuffo made it clear to Haruna that he had prepared a statement and was going to draw Mr. Speaker's attention to these developments. All right, so he came under the standing orders, to draw Mr. Speaker's attention or to make a statement on a matter of urgent public interest. All right, now nobody will dispute the fact that these developments are of public interest. When you have, sitting MPs going to file to run as independent when they have been elected to the House on the tickets of political parties, that is a matter of public interest. When you have an independent person in the House, an independent MP in the House, who has joined a political party and is now contesting on the ticket of that political party and compromising his own independence in the House, that is a matter of urgent public interest. So it was not wrong on the part of the current majority leader to have brought that matter to the attention of the House. Our rules provide for it. And when he drew Mr. Speaker's attention to the matter, Mr. Speaker allowed the House to make comments. We virtually, debated the issues. And then Mr. Speaker said, given the extensive commentary made by members on the matter, okay, it provided him an opportunity to reflect on the issues and then give a ruling. And that is what happened. That was the ruling he delivered yesterday. I don't see why, the Honorable, current minority leader is always trying to litigate matters in the House by saying, oh, you have brought something that is procedurally wrong. If it is procedurally wrong, it is within the remit of Mr. Speaker as Speaker of the House to determine the procedural propriety of the matter. And if Mr. Speaker did not say that the fact that the Honorable, former minority leader, the Honorable member for Tamale South, brought a notice of petition, and then the fact that the Honorable Akuffo, the current majority leader, also decided to raise it as a matter of urgent public interest, and the fact that Mr. Speaker didn't say that was procedurally wrong and should not have happened, means that Mr. Speaker accepts the situation as procedurally correct. Okay, and Mr. Speaker has the final word on matters of procedure, all right, and the substantive application of our standing orders and the constitutional provisions in the House. So I don't know what he's quarreling about. There's nothing wrong with what happened, all right. These were matters of public interest, and they were brought appropriate. All right.
So deal with the issue of court. The fact that he had begun a process in the Supreme Court, and he believes that the Speaker's office had been served, and the Speaker was in the know, and so to go ahead to make a ruling which he believes would impugn on which would essentially preempt what the court was going to do. What's your take on that?
In fact, if there was any preemption, it was the Honorable Afenyo Markins who decided to preempt matters. Because Bernard, for instance, that at the time that he filed his, writ and statement of case, okay, there was no actual controversy. What was the actual controversy? When he came, just because the Honorable Haruna Idrisu mentioned this at a rally somewhere in Tamale, that didn't create a public, a controversy over the matter. He said, look, we are going to test this matter before, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, the resolution of parliamentary disputes is probably, is properly within the jurisdiction of Parliament. It is not, these are not court matters. The question whether or not, a vacancy has occurred, all right, if the factual circumstances are such that a vacancy has occurred, Mr. Speaker has, authority under Order 18 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, the current standing order, to inform the House of the occurrence of the vacancy. All right, so at the time that he ran to court, there wasn't a controversy. And in any case, okay, what is there to interpret? Bernard, if, for instance, somebody writes a letter saying that I have resigned from Parliament, must it take the court to make a pronouncement on the validity of that resignation? If someone has died, must it take the court to say that a vacancy has occurred? So if Mr. Speaker says, oh, I am informing you of the death of Honorable X member for this constituency, then say, no. Mr. Speaker that can't declare a vacancy. He has to wait for a court to pronounce on it. Which court is going to do that?
But which takes us to the third point, because his argument is that he believes that it was it's when a party says we've expelled the person. So in fact, we dealt with the issue of automaticity, that if somebody files to contest on another party, is it that automatically means he's forfeited his membership, or that the party must expel him? Okay, so now his argument is that in the 2020 case of Esiama, the MPP specifically wrote to Speaker Okwe saying that this man is not a member of our party anymore, therefore he should move. And Okwe agreed with them. But he's saying that in this case, neither the NDC nor MPP have written to the Speaker to say, look, people have left.
Bernard, I'm so shocked that, or maybe I'm not surprised, because, sometimes we conduct, or let me say most of the time, we conduct our politics in this country, all right, without principle. Because the Honorable Afenyo Markins should be the last person to be talking about the need for a letter. Because his own party constitution, in Article 3, Clause 9, says that when you engage in that type of conduct, you automatically forfeit your membership of the party. Automatic. It should not take the party to write a letter expelling you. Their own constitution, current constitution of the New Patriotic Party to which he belongs, says that you automatically forfeit your membership. Automaticity means that the thing happens by itself. So what does he mean by we need to write a letter to say that the person has forfeited the membership before? The fact that it was done in the past by their General Secretary to put the matter beyond doubt, okay, does not mean that action cannot be taken based upon the automatic triggering of their own constitutional provision. In any case, Article 97 does not provide, a procedure that requires political parties to file petitions before Mr. Speaker can inform the House of the occurrence of the vacancy. It doesn't. All right. Parliament is a master of its rules. Okay, and Parliament can adopt any procedure to the extent that that procedure does not violate the Constitution. So, for me, I don't see anything wrong with, the fact that there was no letter from, let's say, the NDC sacking Mr. Aka, or a letter from the MPP sacking, for instance, Cynthia Morrison, before Mr. Speaker made his pronouncement. All right. Look, Bernard, what is happening here is that, okay, they are caught in their own web, because when it happened to the Honorable Esiama, and it was to their advantage, they thought that the Parliament was going to communicate to Esiama's constituents that he's no longer their MP, and that was going to bring the man's votes down. It did not, unfortunately. But the precedent that was set, and I think that it's a good precedent. And I'm speaking purely from the point of view of, principle, okay? Because you see, the instances cited by Michael Quay and Professor Michael Quay, the Right Honorable Michael Quay, and then now recently cited by the Right Honorable Speaker, and even more elaborate and more articulate fashion, okay, are instances that trigger a violation of the Constitution. I stand by that position. If tomorrow we are in government, we have a majority in Parliament, and 5-10 members in our caucus say they are going independent, I will be one of the first people to say that Article 97 should be invoked to send them out of Parliament. Because we cannot have a situation where Cynthia Morrison or any other person is busy in their constituency now campaigning against the New Patriotic Party, whilst caucusing with the New Patriotic Party in Parliament. And what kind of political paradox is that?
Interesting. Now,
okay, that's a contradiction.
Fair enough. Now, when I started the interview, I wasn't sure how to refer to Mr. Afenyo Markins, because I referred to him, I asked him whether he was still majority leader, and he actually took offense and said, the speaker was very careful in his judgment, or in his ruling, not to go beyond that to sort of say there's been a rearrangement of the House or anything of that matter. So as far as he's concerned, he's still the majority leader. Now, you have referred to him in this interview as the minority leader. Again, is this automatic that once the numbers show that NDC has more than MPP, NDC is the majority, or must there be a process? Because hold on, let me finish asking the question, because I remember. In January, in January, you people went to sit in some chair and all of that. So it's almost like, is there a procedure for us to know that now you have been conferred a majority status, or it is automatic?
I beg you, Bernard, it's automatic. Majoritarian determination is by number. Minoritarian status is by number. We currently have 136, all right? They have 134. So what is he talking about? In terms of the numbers, we are more than them. We are the majority. It's as plain as daylight.
So you have 136, they have 135. It's 136, 135.
They have 135, sorry. I mean, sorry about that.
So if, for example, tomorrow, on Monday, Cynthia Morrison or Peter Kwatiaka comes to Parliament, will Parliament prevent them from coming? How is this going to be enforced? Or one speaker has said that
they are no longer members of Parliament, and the Marshal is entitled to prevent them from entering the chamber. They are strangers now.
They are no longer MPs.
No, they are no longer MPs.
All right, final.
The Speaker of Parliament has informed the House of the occurrence of a vacancy. Their seats are vacant, meaning that physically they themselves, their chairs are going to be empty until the life of this Parliament ends.
Good. Final point.
They should not be coming to Parliament.
Mr. Afenyo Markins has indicated that his side of the House will stay away from Parliament until the matter is resolved. I do know that Parliament has your next 22nd. I don't know what to call it. Meeting. Sitting is what, next Tuesday?
Yes,
so
yes.
How so assuming the Supreme Court case takes a month, does that mean that we've lost Parliament? Because don't forget, there are certain things that need sitting days to mature. For example, the LI revocation, we don't know if it requires something. How is that going to work?
We will sit. We will sit, and we have more than half of the members of Parliament on our side.
So you sit. So apart from things that require, so if something requires 2/3.
So if there are matters that require 2/3 majority, we can take those decisions. There is a simple majority. We are entitled to take those decisions.
Good.
We are more than half the number of
but again,
members.
Pardon my confusion, but I know that typically a lot of things, Parliament works. For example, government business goes through Parliament, right? And government business is usually laid by either the minister or through the majority leader or the leader of government business, for want of a better expression, right? So now that they are not going to come, what business will you guys be doing there when you go?
We will be filing private members' motions to repeal the obnoxious pieces of legislation they have passed, the taxes such as e-levy, and so on and so forth. In fact, we'll start implementing our manifesto on Tuesday. Because
you start doing your own thing? In using Ghanaian language, you start doing your own thing?
No, it's not our own thing. We are working on behalf of the people of this country. We are elected to work on behalf of the people of this country. So if they stay off, we have the mandate of the people to repeal e-levy and change the fortunes of the ordinary people of this country instantaneously. So they should stay off. We will do business.
But honorable, for those of us watching on this, this is very serious, because you are serious that you will repeal repealables. If you need a simple majority to repeal like e-levy, you repeal it.
Yeah, we'll repeal it. Yes. And you know why I'm saying that? I'm sure people will quote Article 108 to me and say these are tax measures, they are fiscal measures. Article 108 says that for tax measures, if it is to reduce the tax, the private members' bills can work. All right. And if, e-levy is 0.1 or 0.5% or something, and we come and repeal it, it means that it's not going to be zero. Nobody will pay e-levy. It means that we can bring, tax legislation to do a lot of work in the House.
But I thought that for most of the things that Parliament does, President still has to assent, right? So if you do, at least when it comes to, so if...
But no, we will send them to him. If he refuses to, what do you call it? He refuses to assent to them, okay? He has to write back to us to say why he's refusing. All right? If he doesn't, we will go ahead and then, pass the law.
Wow.
Because we can't have the president cannot continue. He can't continue to disrespect the Constitution. And in fact, the Constitution requires him to do certain things. All right. If he doesn't do them, then he is committing high treason. He's breaching the Constitution because there's a timeline. We've been very. Sometimes we don't take some of these constitutional matters very seriously. But for a president, if you are time bound within, to bring a matter to the attention of Parliament and you refuse, you are breaching the Constitution. We can start impeachment proceedings against the president.
Wow, so a lot of things.
This is a serious constitutional crisis.
That's what I'm going to say. And this is also putting pressure on the judiciary, right? Because now the matter is inviting the judiciary to judge or to make judgment on a constitutional matter, yes, but also on essentially the conduct of the legislature, right? So we, the people of Ghana, don't know what to do now. Who's in charge? I don't know if you are all aware of the confusion that this is causing the people of Ghana, and the imperative for all of you to resolve it as quickly as you can between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. There has to be some meeting of minds for the country to proceed, because it seems like it seems, yes, politically whatever, but from an outside point of view, if you look at what's happening in the sub-region, you don't need a constitutional crisis at this time in Ghana. You don't.
That is true, and we are all keenly aware of the gravity of the crisis that we have on our hands. All right, but it is also because one party is behaving in a way that deepens, the crisis. All right. I don't know why the MPP, from time immemorial, always wants to be treated differently. So, for instance, why was it the case that they were very happy with the Michael Quay ruling and they held it? Ironically, my brother Bernard, it was the most vociferous opposition to Michael Quay's ruling was from outside. From the Honorable Mahama Yarga. That's the paradox of it. The Honorable Mahama Yarga took a view that is now being articulated by the MPP, that he was in the minority. Okay? And now they are calling upon us to accept that what was right yesterday by them is today totally wrong and should not apply to them. Why is MPP exceptionalism the reason why this country should fall or rise?
So good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.